Welkom in my Afrikaanse klas, graad 12's. Ons is besig met Poppy die drama en hierdie les gaan ons kyk na die verskillende temas, die belangrikste temas van die drama. Goed. Die belangrikste tema wat uit hierdie boek uitkom, is die een van onderdrukking of oppression. En soos wat julle nou al teen hierdie tyd weet, het die Nasionale Party in 1948 aan bewind gekom en een van die wette wat ingebring is, was die paswette. En ek het vir julle al verduidelik hoe dit werk en wat die absolute horribale impak daarvan was op mense se lewens. Een van die goed wat gebeur het, is gesinne is uitmekaar geskeur. Nou net gou vinnig, guys, just to remind you, in English, you've got one word. Whether it's the close-knit family unit, like mom, dad, and children, the same word is true for the extended family, where aunts and uncles and nephews and nieces come to play. But in Afrikaans, it's different. 'n gesin, nee man. 'n gesin is the core family unit, the core unit of, traditionally speaking, of mom, dad, and kids. The minute there's extended family members, praat ons van 'n familie. So please try and remember that. Families were ripped apart. Fathers could not be with their wives and their children, and children had to live with uncles and omas and oupas. Die Kaapse vlakte is 'n stad wat gebou is, waar mense heen verskuif is. They were forcibly removed. Nyanga was one of them. Gugulethu is another one. Gugulethu. And what was very tragic about this big place where people had to come and live was that it was far removed from their places of work. Now, for those of you who live in Johannesburg, it's the same situation with Soweto and Alexandra and all these places. They are far away from where the people work. So it creates hardship and problems. Ons het gepraat oor die klopjagte, die polisie wat net enige tyd van die nag in jou huis inbars en aandring daarop om jou pas te sien. En dit het 'n aanleiding gegee tot wat ons vandag ken as migrasiewerkers, migrating workers. So, especially in the Western Cape, where all the fruities and the grapes, the wine picking, the grape picking and the fruit picking, then they will get people to come in for a specific number of months to help with that. Something of the same is true for the people who come to the farms and shave the sheep. It's a very seasonal thing. And that again ripped families apart. Father had to try and work to earn money. Mom and children were left behind. This migration work situation created social problems with alcohol and poverty. Now, to my shame, if I think about, I grew up in the Western Cape, and there was something that we called the dopstelsel. So the people worked on the wine farms, And every evening they would come with their little cup and they would get a dop, a tot of wine. So there were lots of horrible things that were created that eventually had people in dire poverty. So that was the first theme. Please remember that. Oppression, onderdrukking. Right. Onderdrukking. Just to break it up for you. Die volgende een is the theme of the matriarch, the mother that had to take the place of the father because the fathers were absent. Ons het hierdie ding van afwesige paas. And we need the apostrophe there, otherwise it's pas, which is something different. So the mother had to step in and be the disciplinarian, be the provider. So daar was die afwesigheid van die manlike rolmodel. En vroue het noodwendig die hoof van die huishoudings geword. So the mothers were the heads of the homes. Die paswetstelsel, the fact that they had to have a pass, meant that people really battled to get work. Because if I take in somebody without a pass to work for me in my house, and the police finds her, I'm also in trouble. You see, that's how it worked. So people were very scared to employ people without a pass. And the biggest problem with this was it gave way to abuse. People worked for long hours. They were so desperate for a job. They were prepared to do anything. And they were paid very little. So the discipline in the house really fell away completely because the parents, the mothers, were not there. They left the house early in the morning and they came back late in the afternoon. If it was a sleep-in job, they only came home, if they were lucky, one day, maybe a Sunday or a Thursday. So it was a situation that created a lot of problems. Okay, so as jy nie 'n pas het nie, then you work, jy werk skelm. So you work, but you, like Poppy, at one stage she was not allowed to open the front door if somebody knocked on the front door, because her Mrs. Swanepoel was so scared that it could be the police. So they had to hide away. Now, can you imagine die spanning, the tension that this situation created? All right. Goed. Die volgende tema is die een van die invloed, the influence van die paswetstelsel op swart mense. And I think the biggest thing that we can understand from this is the families, gesinne wat uit mekaar geskeur is. They were separated. Ons het gepraat oor die klopjagte. Almal, and I think this is what we take from this, everybody lived in fear. Hulle het in vrees gelewer. Die ander ding wat gebeur het, is dat, en ons sal later in meer detail hieroor praat. Die kinders het baie ongedisciplineerd groot geword. And if we look at what happened during the Soweto uprising and also in the Cape, the confrontation, die konfrontasie tussen die volwassenes, the grown-ups with their passes, and the police created such a situation of humiliation. So the police enforced the laws. The way in which they did it was horrible. The parents, the grown-ups, the men, couldn't win against the police. And the result of that was that the children who saw this lost all their respect for their parents. Now put into this pot alcohol abuse, and you've got a recipe for disaster. But the bottom line is, mense se menswaardigheid is aangetast. People's worthiness were trampled on. And I think that's the main influence of this system, and let me say, out of hell, in the lives of black people. Goed, die volgende een is ook 'n belangrike een. The influence of violence, geweld. Especially on the youth. Hierdie vrees, jy kan nou dink, as jy die heeltyd in vrees leef vir die polisie, jy mag nie na die strande toe gaan nie, jy mag nie na 'n restaurant toe gaan nie, jy mag nie 'n fliek gaan kyk nie, jy mag nie op straat wees nie. Dit het hatred and bitterness. It created that. The trauma. Can you imagine being a child and you see how people are killed? The police were violent. And even in the townships, people turned on one another, and there was a terrible violence. And the influence of that on young people's psyche. In many instances, there were orphans. Both parents died, and what happened to the children? Motivation and interest in school just dwindled. And in the end, the youth also became part of the violence when they had got hold of weapons. And the ultimate of that we live with today is die bendes that are rife, and yeah, that's a conversation for another day. Die volgende tema, laat ek net gou kyk, waar is ons nou? Nommer 5 is die verlies aan respek vir groot mense. The loss of respect for grown-ups. When the police came into the townships, what did the parents do? What did the grown-ups do? They ran and they tried to hide. In front of the children, the grown-ups were hit, they were humiliated, they were mocked. And what happens in a situation like that? Children feel unsafe. The minute there's violence, whether it's a verbal violence or physical violence or any kind of violence, it takes away that feeling of safety. I'm not safe here. And they blamed their parents. And in the bigger scheme of things, they blamed the laws. Now, because of the laws that was enforced by the police, there was a sense of hopelessness. What can we do? We can actually do nothing. We've lost this war before we even started. And of course, the kids became very bitter. this whole situation, as we said in the past, is this whole thing of poverty, and then people go to extremes and they become alcoholics because they feel so hopeless. There's nothing for them to look forward to. And the children's big gripe was, because the parents drank so much, there was no money to pay for schooling. Okay, so this is now number 6. We see this theme of opofferings, sacrifices. Poppy's whole life was glued together, or was put together by her sacrifices to try and give her children a good upbringing. Schooling, a safe house, and a good upbringing. But the situation, the circumstances were against her. As we said, long hours, little money. Remember, she had a network. She had a support network in the Cape, in the body of her mother, her brothers, her and she said she will leave that behind. She will leave Stone behind, and she will go to Mdantsane so that she can have a home, a house for her children, so that the kids can go to school. She was humiliated, like so many other people, every time she had to go stand in a queue to get another stamp for her pass. When she went back to Cape Town after Stone's death, fear was part of her life. She made sacrifices to bring her grandchild to Cape Town. She made the sacrifices of splitting up her family even further, because the 2 girls were with her parents-in-law. Bonsile stayed in East London. She took Vukile, sorry, that's a mistake, Vukile. She took Vukile out of East London and she took him with her to Cape Town. But in order to do that, one of her young sons had to stay behind with Bonsile, and she was always worried about Bonsile's influence on this child. So she made such sacrifices. And for what? For her children. Right, so that's a very strong theme. And then Poppy se verhouding met God. She was deeply religious, a relationship with God. She prayed constantly that he will give her the energy, the strength to carry on with her life for her children. Sy bid dat haar kinders nie met die bose sal meng nie. So she really prays and trusts that God will help them not to get involved with sinful things. And when everything fell apart at the end, she asks, what did she do wrong that her life has got so many heartache, so much heartache in? And then she feels at the end, she's lost the war, and she does not understand God's will. Right in the end, scene 6 of Act 2, she comes to acceptance and she says, what can we do? God's will is God's will. and what will happen, will happen. So, ek hoop hierdie 7 temas maak vir julle 'n bietjie meer sin en dat dit vir julle sal help om soos wat ons die drama ontleed verder die punte bymekaar te bring. Nog 'n stukkie van die legkaart tot ek julle weer sien.